So, part two. So, we didn't had this mix up, not even a mix up. She just totally wrong. Like, she didn't have me go to another place. No apology, no nothing. But at this point in my head, I'm like, just go home, Tom. Y'all know how I do. Always taking things too far. I get in the car. I go to the other location. Come in. She's at the bar. Now, look, I'm not a judgmental person. But she told me to dress up because she had a night planned, right? I know the word dress up means different things to different people. For me, if you tell me to dress up, I'm going to probably wear some hard bottom shoes, some nice slacks, maybe a jacket, something like that. Unless I know like it's a formal event, I go higher, I go lower, whatever. But she had on like, you know how a loungewear, but it was like one of those loungewear tops that sort of came down, like it was like in the back, and it was like sort of, but then she had the loungewear pants on, and then she has like some Skechers on. And I was like, some Skechers? You told me to dress up, but you got on Skechers? Are we about to go walk in the mall? When you tell me to get dressed, I'm gonna get dressed low. So why would you come in? I hate to use this word because they used to use it when I was a kid a lot, but they usually don't use it now. But for the younger people watching, the older people gonna know this word when I say it. Homely. See, now that's like a lifestyle. When I was growing up, homely was that girl who dressed like she was at home all the time. And that's what she sort of looked like. Like she had on this loungewear outfit and a pair of Skechers, and her hair was just pulled back. Now, she was a pretty girl, but she was just very homely. And it's like, you told me to dress up. But so, not to be judgmental, but maybe this is what she thought dressing up was. I don't know. It just looked like she, was about to watch Maury and eat some popcorn on the couch. But I digress. So she comes up to me, gives me like a super duper church hug. And we sitting there, we sit down or whatnot, and we start talking. And she's like, see, everything's not bad. It's already going good. I'm like, girl. And, at this point, I just be letting stuff happen because it's like, I don't be wanting to get into like arguments, go back and forth with people. Because the thing is, this is the whole purpose of story time. It's a matter of perspective. The whole situation with being in the wrong place is like, not being cool. But for her, totally oblivious to it. And that's what I be trying to point out. People be thinking I be picking people bad. No, it's just how their perspective is with life. Like, people just don't see things like other people. They be thinking they right. They be thinking they're on time. They be thinking everything's cool, when actually the shit's weird. So we sitting there, right? And her phone go off. It's like a collect call from jail. And I'm like, she puts it on speaker, like in the restaurant. It's like, this call is emitting from a federal penitentiary. And she's like, oh, this is I can't even remember what she said. It was either, this is her brother's sister's brother. We're really close. We talk all the time. And I was just like, what? Your brother's sister's brother. And so she's telling me his story. We're on a date, and she's has him on speakerphone. And then, she talks to him for like 5 minutes on the date. Like, so I'm just sitting there at this point while she's on the phone talking to this prisoner. The waitress even came by, and I was like, what is sis doing like right now? So, but y'all be saying I be finding these people. I didn't find this one. Okay, she found me. So she hangs up, and then she, well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. And she's going on, and she's like, she was older than me. I think she was, just put like this, she was older than me. And she was telling me the ages of her kids. And she was like, yeah, I got like a 25-year-old, an 18-year-old, you know what I'm saying, and a 1-year-old. And I was like, a 1-year-old? And he was like, yeah, that's my little mishap, baby. You know what I'm saying? It was just a total accident. I had met this guy, and, we had a really good date. And, I had never did a one-night stand. And, I ended up with a baby. And, and it is what it is, my little bundle of joy. Now, the reason my nose is turned up is because she was so judgmental about some of the other story times with, women and their kids, and, oh, I would never do this. And then even when I talked to her on the phone, like, she did not sound like a woman who, like, would have had a one night stand and had a whole kid. She was very Amanda Seales about things, like very matter of fact and technical and very judgmental, right? So she starts to, wants to talk about the story times. And I'm like, ask me whatever questions you want to ask. And she was like, are the story time stories real? And I was like, yeah, they real. And she was like, are they 100% the truth? I was like, they're very much the truth. The only thing that I do is change the names to cities and maybe blend two stories together. But most of the women know that I want to do the story time. And some of them have even come out and asked me to do the story time because they think they're hilarious and they understand what actually happened is probably way worse. I'll be giving y'all the PG version. If y'all want the rated R version, it'll be in the book. But like some of the stories, I'll be actually holding back because I don't be wanting to give too many details because, they will get exposed if I talk too much. So we sitting there now. She had planned this first. We was going to go to this restaurant. We was supposed to try this little appetizer dish that they had. And then we was supposed to leave and go to another spot. So at this point, I think I had 2 drinks. She had 1 drink. And, we had the appetizer or whatnot. Now, listen, she told me, like I told y'all when I started, she was going to plan the date. She was going to pay for the date. She was going to do all this stuff. Waitress brings the tab. And yeah, the waitress gives me the tab. She reaches across the table, grabs the tab from me. She's like, I got this. Don't worry about this. I told you what it was. And this is exactly what it's going to be. This won't be one of your story times this time, Mr. Swoop. And I'm like, okay, buddy, calm down. She goes to pay the tab. I think I left my wallet in my car. Let me go check. I'm just like, okay, alrighty, here we go, right? She goes out to the car, comes back, no wallet. I think I left my wallet on its nightstand at the house before I left. I'm like, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Pulled out some money, paid for the tab or whatnot. Still, no apology. No, nothing. Like, no, nothing. No, my bad. No, when we get here, can we stop at 8? Nothing. I tell y'all, and this is what I be talking about. Like, people be completely oblivious to the stuff they do on dates and their interactions with people. And y'all be thinking I be making this shit up. No, I'm not making it up. No, this is legit happening in real time. This just happened. So I'm nodding my head like this, and she still want to go to the next, little situation because she got a reservation. And I'm like, you ain't got no money. Like, why is we going somewhere else? I mean, like, she ain't say, well, let me go shoot back to the house, or, she ain't saying nothing. She was just like, well, hurry up. We need to go to the next place. We have to hurry up. You know what? I'm going to let this happen because when I break it all down to her, she going to see she's a story time. And she's about to make it to the upper echelon of story time. So we go to the next little situation or whatever, but we was a little bit, like, early. So we was sitting there waiting for them to get the table ready or whatnot. And so when we sitting here, we started talking a little bit, and she started to open up a little bit because she was very like standoffish, and matter of fact, when we was talking on the phone and stuff like that, because she made it very procedural because she was trying to prove a point. But as we was talking, I was like, sort of like, I'm an easy person to talk to. And then I'm the kind of person who I listen and I observe, and I only give feedback when needed, but my feedback be very relevant. So we was talking, I was giving her a little feedback, giving her a little feedback. Now, I had no romantic attraction towards this woman because she wasn't really my type. Like, I don't like homely at all. Like, homely, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. She's one of them people who are really smart, really intelligent, attractive, but homely. Some people are always going to be able to talk their way into making things make sense. But at the end of the day, the results are the results. So, like, you can be like, oh, I'm this age and I have this and that and that and this. But ultimately, if you're not happy, that's just what it is. So we started talking about stuff, and then she started opening up about, like, having a one night stand, having a kid, how it's stressful, how it's like, all of her friends and family make fun of her because, she over 50 with a toddler, you know what I'm saying? A 1-year-old, it's just really stressful. When we was talking, like, she was justifying it, like she minimized it, but I could tell, like, what I'm saying, that's a real big thing. Like, who want to be 50 with a 1-year-old, you know what I'm saying, and a 25-year-old? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Let me give y'all some backstory. So when we talked on the phone previously, she was just telling me like, I'm not her type at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? She think men with beards are just hiding something. She doesn't like bald head men. She doesn't like big guys. She doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, she just went down this laundry list of things she just really didn't like about me. Right. So she thought I was a male chauvinist and, you know, but as we started talking, she saw that I was none of those things. You know what I'm saying? And so we sitting there waiting and, you know, she sort of like started getting closer and curling up to the side of my arm and stuff like that. And I was just like, okay, buddy, what is this about? We're just, you know, this is an experiment to keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? So we go sit at the table. You know, I go sit on my side of the table. I'm thinking she gonna sit on her side of the table. She comes around and sits on my side of the table. I'm like, this couple stuff. Like, I'm joking, but I'm like, this couple stuff right here. She, you know, she bust out laughing. You're so silly, Todd. You're so silly. And I'm like, that was a joke. That wasn't no joke. Her phone ring again. It's the dude in jail. And she takes the call again. And so she puts him on speaker and they talking and, you know what I'm saying, about another 7 minutes go by. I'm like, girl, who keeps taking calls from jail on a date? Like, for real. So the dude like, hey, you got to send me some money, you know, later. And so she like, yeah, I'm going to send you some money as soon as I get back to the house. I'm going to send you some more money. All right then, baby. And I'm like, baby? I'm like, this your dude? And she like, well, he got 7 years to do. So, I mean, he's like my emotional support. You know, I talk to him. He's like, you know, it's like having a man, but not having a man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you make bad decisions. And she like, what you mean? I'm like, you just had a baby by a dude you don't even know. You didn't even know his last name. You had to find him through a private investigator to have him pay child support because it was a one-night stand. And now you in a relationship with a dude that's in jail that ain't getting out for 7 years. I'm not even going to ask you what he in jail for. And I'm not even going to ask you how long he been in jail for. And you sending him money when you ain't got money. I'm just like, sis, you're doing a lot of bad decisions. You like cornering the market on bad decisions right now. And so she's sitting there. She's just like, you're right. You're right. I have been making a lot of bad decisions. And I'm like, look, I mean, not trying to dump on you right now, but these are all like obvious things that are wrong. Like, you really shouldn't be developing a relationship with a dude that, you know. And I was like, ain't no telling what he was in jail for. And she was like, it's real bad. It's real bad. He's been in there for some time. And he only has 7 years to go. And I'm like, child. So about them story time comments you be leaving. Part 3, get your drink, pour 2 drinks. Because, yes, Tommy's going to take it way too far yet again.